Rebecca out of Soltar Solutions, and I'm here today on Focus Forward. I'm really thrilled to have my guest with me today. She's Dottie Woodruff of Dottie's Delights, and she makes these amazing gift baskets. So we're going to tell you all about how you might be able to make some gift baskets as well. So Dottie, thanks so much for being on the show today.
Well, thank you for having me here. I'm enjoying myself.
Good, awesome. So tell us a little bit about kind of what you do.
What I do is I try to bring joy to people by not only solving a problem, a gift-giving problem or need for them, but also by putting together something that brings them joy, and then also the recipient or the person that they're giving it to. Something that really has some heart in it, and something that has some thought put into it, so that they're feeling that love and that emotion when they receive it and open it.
Okay, so we normally, when we think about gift giving, we think about birthday or holiday.
Mm-hmm.
What are the types, maybe having a baby, what are the types of things that we don't necessarily think about for gift giving?
You know, if I wrote these all down in a list, it would go on and on and on, because there are so many just little simple daily events that happen and occur in people's lives, like they got a new job, or they successfully completed a goal they've been working on. They got through a tough meeting that they had with one of their kids' schools. You know, just little everyday things that not everybody deals with, but everybody deals with something else, and or making it through a test. You know, like when the kids do their college tests, don't you want to celebrate that? When they get their driver's licenses, you know, anything that's a big deal to somebody is worth celebrating, or giving them, you know, encouragement, support, sympathy, if it happens to be something that's not necessarily something you would celebrate.
So I got a gift basket when my dog passed away, and it really touched me so much, because my dog was such a big part of my life that it was really, you know, I know you're prepared because my dog was 15, but you're prepared, but you're never really prepared. So that really brightened me up. And, you know, the thing is, it wasn't so much the gift basket as it was that the person acknowledged how important that, you know, my dog was to me. So
exactly.
I totally get it. So let's just talk a little bit about, like, for me, sending clients gift baskets, I never really know how extravagant to get, or how big to get, or how much money to spend. Is there a rule of thumb for that?
You know, there's no clear-cut rules, and a lot of the statistics that are out there on the internet are older, a year or two old. But generally, the rule of thumb is a lot of people, especially small business owners, the first way to figure it out is you set a budget, and you say, this is my budget for this year. Then you make a list of your clients you want to send gifts to or give gifts to, and you say, how many clients do I have? You know, that's gonna, now, do I divide my budget over that number of clients and give everybody the, you know, same value of gift? Or do I have some clients that have made me more money, that have brought me bigger projects that I want to reward a little bit more? And then you figure out how to split up your budget. Standardly, I would say $30 to $50 for a client, if that's within your budget, is a good amount to spend on somebody, but it's totally up to your discretion and whether you really want to show your appreciation to that person because they've brought you a lot of business that year.
Well, that's good. That gives people some guidelines. What about those people that are in highly regulated industry, or maybe you're in a highly regulated industry, your client? What do you do in that case?
Well, you have a lot more rules that set limits on how much you can spend. So you really need to know what your company's regulations are. You also need to know what your client's regulations are, if they have any, so that they're allowed to accept the gift that you give them. And a lot of times those amounts are very tiny, say $20 to $25 a person. So you want to make sure if it's they're actually gonna be able to accept your gift, or that that you follow those rules and those regulations.
Yeah, so we were highly regulated in television, and it was, you know, $25. I don't know if it's changed at this point, but yeah, and when bigger gifts came in, they were distributed out to everyone, so it didn't look like the boss or one anchor was getting a a huge gift. So yeah, it's important to understand those regulations. So tell us a little bit about maybe like how you would find out about how you'd find out about people, because sometimes I don't know people as well maybe as I should or could, and I'd like to send them a gift basket. How do I send something that's kind of personalized without knowing them?
Well, sometimes you can do a little research on people. Let's say that you're Facebook friends with them, or let's say that you may not know them very well, but you might know or have a relationship with their assistant or somebody that works with them. You could go through them and send them an email or give them a phone call and ask them some questions to help you out, or see what kinds of things the person posts on their Facebook page or their LinkedIn page as things that they're interested in, things that they love. And a lot of people put personal things on there, so you know if they have a family and you know if they have any pets and those kind of things that you could use as a theme for your gift.
So tell us a little bit about the things, because I know that when you set a limit, for instance, if you set a limit and you're going to send that gift, you really have to allow for the shipping of it as well, because shipping can be really, I was shocked that shipping was as expensive as it is.
Yep.
So how do you get around that? Or when you're working with somebody and they say, well, I have a $150 limit, do you include the shipping in that limit, or how do you go about doing that?
Well, it varies from client to client, but then when they say this is the budget, I have to say, okay, so now are these local clients that you're going to see, you can deliver to? Do I have to deliver to them? Do we have to mail things? And when people are going to be mailing things, I tell them the most inexpensive way to do it is through the United Postal Service. And they have what's called flat rate boxes. And this is a medium-sized, kind of squarish one. They have a large size like this, and then they have flat ones also, longer, flatter ones. So the best thing to do is find a type of box that will fit right down in there, because this is one rate regardless of the size of your box, regardless of the weight. Which is normally what they determine when you're mailing something. And this one is $12.85 to send. So now we already know we got $12.85 that we have to put into postage for this gift. So then you have to determine with your client, if you need to spend a quarter of their budget on shipping, then you're going to have to lower the price of the contents that you put in there or the price of the gift that you give them so that you still stay within their budget.
So what would you put in this box?
Well,
I'm going to put this down so I can watch.
I'm really into putting together practical items in my themes, but at Christmas time, and especially when it comes to clients or clients you maybe don't know very well, people like food things and treats. The examples I brought today are somebody who would love coffee.
Oh, okay.
So what I had to do was I picked out things that relate to coffee, and I had to be conscious of the size so that everything would fit into the box that I have here. So I've got a little plaque, I've got a coffee cup, I have got some samples of coffee so you can give them a variety of flavors. I've got some syrup so they can feel like they're in a coffee shop. I have a towel, a kitchen towel that talks about coffee, has a saying about coffee. Got to have a little treat or some biscuits when you're thinking about having coffee, and a stir stick and some flavoring syrup so that you could, they can feel like they're making fancy coffee at home. And then what I'm able to do is just put the box right on this.
And it fits right in there.
This fits right down in here. So I think the hardest part of this is just finding a box that fits in there exactly. You kind of have to know the dimensions of your box when you go in to find one, or I just brought one of these in with me and then tested it out in the store. You tape it up. They have little labels at the post office you fill out, you put on there. You pay them their money and it ships off. And the nice thing about these is they usually ship out, they get there within like 2 days.
Fabulous, fabulous. So that's great. That's a great tip. So tell us about this basket.
I brought this basket in for you today so you could kind of experience.
Nice.
And because we don't know each other very well yet, what I did was a little bit of research on your social media, your webpage, things like that, and realized that you're a very avid world traveler. So the theme of this basket is a travel basket, and it has things in there that I think maybe you'd be able to use when you're traveling. I like to put some little knick-knacky fun things in there, some things that are more practical that people might not think to buy for themselves, and just some things that bring a little humor.
This is adorable. Well, thank you so much. I can't believe
welcome.
it. So you're like a detective.
Well,
this is
sort of.
amazing. Because you know
It
it's
does come into
amazing.
play.
Pack list. That's awesome. This is wonderful. Oh, I love it. Well, thank you so much.
You're
This is a
welcome.
great idea. And tell us a little bit about this basket here.
This is just, I wanted people to see what they look like when they're delivered or when they receive them. Everything is packaged with cellophane and bows, so it looks pretty. This is a baby girl shower gift basket.
Nice.
Obviously
it's
by the
beautiful.
pink.
It's so sweet.
So it's got all things baby, fun
and some
little
books
things in there.
and,
For
oh, that's great.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So give us 3 tips that anybody could use if they wanted to create a gift basket for, say, their, mother, sister, or even somebody at work. What are 3 tips that you would recommend people do?
One thing is kind of set your budget. The second thing is keep in mind the size of the gift that you want. Because obviously if it's something you're going to ship, then you need to downsize it and think of smaller items to put in there. And it's always nice to kind of have a theme that personalizes it for that person, whether they're a dog lover, whether they're an avid traveler, so that it feels very personal to them and it feels like you put a lot of thought into it.
That's great. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for
Thank you.
being here.
Thank you.
This has been great. I'm Lori Fleckhead of Soltar Solutions, and wasn't that fabulous? Now we learned so much about gift baskets. This has been great. So thank you so much for tuning in. Lori Fleckhead, Focus Forward. Have a great day.